Viewer discretion is expressed for the following program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution while viewing this program, because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children, and not for coworkers either.
We're back, baby. It's been a week. We haven't been here in a week. And I know Deacon missed talking to me. I know he did.
Okay, since we hadn't been here in a week, turn your microphone down, Jeff. How come we don't have the title card up? What's going on? Why have we changed everything?
Yeah, we're happy. We're back. My volume is like 50%.
You need to turn it down to 40%. Then. Oh, okay.
Jeez. Yeah. Maybe I should turn it all the way down to 0.
Yeah, turn it down to 40%.
Too high?
Yeah.
Is it on the right mic? Hold on. Let me see. What if it's on the wrong mic? No, it says
Hi,
it's
welcome
on
to
the
the
right
show. Glad that you're here. Let's fix all of our
like
audio problems right now.
Being deaf. Well, look.
Everything was going good until about 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And then the shit hit the fan like 4.5 or 5 minutes ago. And it's got me all flustered. And I don't like it. So hello, sir. I was doing good this morning.
I woke up at like 5 and it's now winter, or it's not winter. Yeah, it's late fall. It's fall. But I wake up and I'm like, I can't breathe, so it's got to wake up. You got to take the medicine to try to like get your sinuses to, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew it was going to be like this. So I woke up at like 5 so that I could be able to talk by the time the show started. And then I sit down and I'm working on an app, like a website thing for my robot. And it's a whole secret project. But I'm writing code for like an hour. And then at about 6:30, my kids come in here and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to wake you guys up and get you to school and also get ready for the show. So I'm grabbing a bunch of stuff, and grabbing a bunch of stories. You're grabbing a bunch of stories I saw. And then I got the title card done, and I had it done at 8:00. We were ready to go. And then Deke comes on and he's like, hey, let's try. I got something to show you. And I'm like, cool. And then all of a sudden Deke's like,
Yeah.
And I said,
thank you for reliving it for me after I've gotten over it and explaining it down to the fucking detail. Good morning, sir. How was your Thanksgiving?
Good morning. I had a great time. We visited family.
Good.
Both sides, my kids had a great time. We went to Disney on Ice, and let me tell you, that was spectacular. Those dancers, skater people are amazing, and my kids loved it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you like supporting those people just to make your children happy?
Absolutely. My kids matter than any of their political agenda, so I don't care about that.
I completely see where you're coming from, but it's really fucking sad that a majority of people are like, I don't care, just to make my kids happy. I'll do this. I don't care, just to make my kids happy. Just to make my kids happy. I'll do this just to make my kids happy. Kind of sounds like programming, huh?
You think so?
I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist. Remember, look, I'm nuts. Don't believe anything I say.
My kids, first of all, they didn't have any of the scandalous cartoons, so there was no transgender elemental yet. But it was like all the cartoons that are great. They had or the characters. They had Moana. I've sung Moana songs to my kids since they were born. They love Moana.
I'm not trying to take anything away from your family or your tradition or anything. I just ask the fucking question. I ask the questions. I try to get your brain thinking about things that your brain wouldn't normally think about. Thing. Because my brain thinks about 3 million things at once. It's always going.
So we agree, you and I agree, that Disney has got some gay agenda. and they're trying to shove it down our kids' throats. That's true.
I think
And
everyone agrees with that.
yeah, right. It totally. In fact, even my wife is like, there was something else that came up, and she's like, "Why are they even doing that?" I was like,
and make it gay.
make it gay. So like we agree on that. But my kids like some of the stories. There's old stuff, and I'm more interested in disincentivizing Disney from propagandizing properties than punishing them for stuff they made a long time ago. So, I would just
Good
like,
luck when
you
you're
guys just
fighting.
make not gay stuff.
Good luck in your fight. I just asked the question. I'm curious.
It's me against the world, except maybe not you, because it seems like you're like, I'm not in this fight. I'm not participating.
It's not that I'm not participating in the fight, is that I'm trying to look at the fight from a different angle and realize that, wait a minute, you two pawns are fighting over here while the queens are sitting over here doing whatever the hell they want, while y'all are sitting here fighting. You and the pawns and the knights and the rooks are all battling over here, while these people are the ones that are actually making it. So I try to pay attention to this and not so much this, because if you give the people bread and circuses, they won't revolt. So that's what that's what we do every Monday, about the bread and circuses of Hollywood and who's mad at who, and the SAG strike and NAFTA and all this NAFTA and all this bullshit. Our bread and circuses: football, basketball, baseball. It's no different than they did in the Roman Empire. It's the exact same thing is going on. We just call it different shit, and we have better technology.
Well, all I can say is that, regardless of politics of Disney, the 2-3 dozen human beings that were on ice skates that were like doing amazing stuff on the ice, they're all amazing artists, and they deserve applaud.
I'm not trying to take away from your Disney on Ice, dude. I'm so glad that you were able to have a memory with your child. I just wanted to poke at you by saying
it's fine.
I just wanted to poke at you. I didn't want to start a theory.
JJ, are you being hypocritical? Yeah, maybe I am. Whatever.
I am too. So all
right. How was your Thanksgiving? Did you guys go anywhere? Did you do anything? Big show?
With the family. Our family lives around here, lives not too far. So we go to family's house and hang out and do what. And one of my little nephews was there, and he's like 1 or 2. He's like 2 or something. He's just starting to walk. So he's like in between 1 and 2. And it was nice to sit there and see my dad, who turned, my dad's birthday was yesterday, and I didn't even tell him happy damn birthday. I told him happy birthday before, but I forgot to tell him happy birthday yesterday. I'm a terrible son. So it was just good to see my dad sitting there, who's 72 yesterday, 72 yesterday, and he and him playing with the little kid and whatnot, and then him playing Uno with Maggie and calling her a cheat and her giggling because she is cheating. We didn't play it this way, and we play it this way, and so it was fun to sit there and watch them. Yeah.
I'm glad. I hope everybody had a great time with their families as much as they could.
I got some unexpected texts from friends, like good buddies that I don't see all the time and might not have talked to in a while. And I got some really nice texts from them that were out of the blue, thanking our friendship and talking about how we met. It was really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's great. You're making me think now, like, there's some people I need to text before Christmas just to let them know they're alive.
That you needed, and maybe saying that was the catalyst that you need to do that. Do that. Don't put that crap off.
No,
and tell them, hey, I love you. You mean a lot to me. That's all you got to say. I'm glad we met. That's what my buddy said. He was like, man, some invisible waves caused us to meet over 25 years ago, and I'm really glad we did. He's talking about we met in radio.
Yeah.
We met at a radio station. He was like, some invisible waves caused us to meet 25 years ago, and I'm really glad they did, because there's not very many people that get me, and you get me. I was like, man, I appreciate that. That made me feel good.
I mean, honestly, if anybody's listening right now, you should really take that as some dad advice right now. Like, take a moment and just tell somebody that's important to you that they're important to you. Don't just assume they know that.
Here's the kicker though. Don't expect a response in return. A lot of people are wanting that response for that dopamine hit to make them feel better.
Right.
You have to train your body and train your brain, and it's hard. Willpower is a hard freaking thing, man. It's really hard to have willpower. That's your freaking battle inside, is willpower. It's mine, at least, a lot of times. And you have to train your brain to not expect that return dopamine hit. JJ, I love you, man. Don't expect that response. I'm not. I said I love you.
Fish.
I don't expect.
Where's them compliments at? Let me get them compliments back.
Hey, I care about you.
Yeah.
Peace out.
And you know what? It takes some kind of strength to be vulnerable like that too, to be honest.
Yeah.
For almost all men.
They might be so scared of saying it that you saying it causes their wall to form a crack. And you say it 10 more times and you finally chip the wall down and they say it back. Or you know what I mean.
You never really know the effects of anything that you do. But it's probably a better gamble for you to take a little risk and be vulnerable for your friends than it is to just be out and out critical of everybody all the time and that's dumb all the time. So,
all right, do we want to start the show 15 minutes?
Yeah, let's start the show so we can talk about some dumb stuff.
We've been gone a week and we deserve to talk there for a minute.
Yeah, so we need it.
10 minutes.
Yeah, and action. Tell us about some music.
Oh yeah, I forgot we got music. All right, let's see. Starting up this week's song of the day. Where's my overlay song of the day? I don't know where it's at.
I got you. There it is.
There we go. I was gonna put in some. Me and Alex were listening to some '90s one-hit wonders over the weekend, and there was some good ones. Do you remember Tal Bachman? You probably don't. I'm gonna play that one. I'm gonna have one of those. Some '90s one-hit wonders coming up this weekend. And but today I was going through and I found some music news, and I was like, oh man, that kind of sucks. Killing Joke. Do you remember the band Killing Joke? They were around in the 80s. They were a British band. They were kind of a punk rock British band in the early 80s, middle through the 80s. And they were just kind of a British punk band, British rock band. Not really punk, but more British rock, that British. Their one big song was kind of not really techno, but that 80s with the synthesizer and type. But
okay.
And they were called Killing Joke. There's I can't remember what their one big song was. Love something. I liked this song Euphoria by Killing Joke. It was really awesome. Their bassist passed away. Their bass player passed away.
Oh no,
Geordie Walker. And I was like, oh, okay, that sucks. I like that band. So I went and I was listening. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this song. I had a buddy. I was trying to remember. I had a buddy that was into Killing Joke. He always had Killing Joke tapes in his tape. He had like 3 of them or something like that. And I'd never heard of them when we used to listen to them and stuff. And it wasn't bad. And then I started looking, and Jean Knight, who was 80 years old, passed away. And she was a singer in the 70s who sang Mr. Big Stuff. Who do you think you are, Mr.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I posted a nice on our Discord server with the there's the QR code above JJ's head. You can see the little Soul Train video of it.
Man.
Yeah, it's good. Look at her hair. Her hair is
back in the day, there used to be 11 o'clock at night on like channel 27 or something like that. You could see Soul Train or a fake version of Soul Train. Like it could be like some derivative. And it was just like people playing music and on dance floor and just like shaking their butts and like it was always
and
like
as much as media wants you to believe, JJ and I were like 7, 8 years old watching this crap, and we didn't give a crap if it was black people, white people, Mexican people, purple people. We were watching people dance, and it was cool. We was listening to good music, and we didn't care.
Was like It was like live TV in a studio, or maybe it was recorded, but it was recorded live. You can tell it was recorded. It was like, it didn't have high production values. It was just like a couple cameras and some lights and a bunch of just people. And then like they'd say, here's a song by CNC Music Factory. I remember seeing CNC Music Factory.
That was from, remember Soul Train and Don Cornelius did it for a long time, but MTV really kind of burnt that out with, what was the MTV one called?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There was one on MTV all the time.
I'm sure there was. Yeah.
The name of it.
And they had Headbangers Ball too. They would do that sometimes, but which would just be hosted videos. But like they did this like kind of version of Soul Train on MTV.
Ball in 120 minutes. Club MTV. Club MTV. They would play music and just dance, and you would sit there and watch. You would watch what the people were wearing. You were watch how the people were dancing, and think the next dance I'm going to go and TV. You can't even censor things. Yeah, it was great.
I forgot where I was going with that. Thought I was going somewhere. Can't remember. Thanks, Do Good.
I might have derailed. I'm sorry.
All right. Hey, so we got some wacky stories. We don't have anything like earth-shattering. Our world isn't in World War III yet. I guess that movie has been delayed.
Thanks to Joe Biden. I mean, it was. Thanks to him. I mean, the media his leadership been telling me that his negotiation skills have kept us out of war with Israel. That he's like, hey, release a hostage and we'll give you a day of peace. Or something like that. I mean, he's like doing godly work according to what the media has told me over the weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's what they say. I
don't know
with it.
I haven't paid any attention to what he's saying. So there's not any earth-shattering news. So we got a bunch of stories. I picked out some that I thought were great and interesting. I'm sure Deke picked out a couple too. I'm going to go with this one as though, because since we just talked about music, maybe you know this lady because I don't. But I kind of let's see. Where's my? I forgot where the button was. It's been so long since we did the show. I don't remember how to do this. Do you know who Buffy St. Marie is?
No, I don't.
She's a singer.
Okay.
Accused. So here we go. Accused pretendian Buffy St. Marie says, I have never lied about my identity. Now you see in this photo right here, she seems to be dressed as though she is a native person, a First Nations person. Canadian singer and songwriter Buffy St. Marie, who has made a 60-year career out of native heritage, even as new evidence suggests she was born to a white family, is defiant in the face of those who accuse her of pretending to be an Indian for 60 years. St. Marie is 82 and has spent decades claiming to have native heritage, but has had a bunch of problematic claims that seem to clash while speaking at a purported heritage of that heritage. Over the years, she has claimed to be a blood member of at least 3 different Indian tribes: the Algonquin tribe, the Mi'kmaq tribe, and the Cree tribe. The conflicting information she has doled out over the dozens of interviews started back in the 60s. Apparently, let's see. You can see from the headline here. She says her U.S. birth certificate is fake. This isn't the first person to have, inflated their persona by claiming something they didn't have, right? How big of a deal is this?
I mean, people tried to say that Elizabeth Warren wasn't Cherokee, but she's clearly a Native American woman.
Look, she is an American woman.
Look. Hang on. Let me see this one right here. No, that's not right. How do I do me?
You definitely have this wrong. What are you doing?
Okay, look at me.
All right, I see.
Do I look Native American?
I can't see it myself. But maybe I have.
My great grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee on my mother's side, and my great-great-grandparents both on my father's side, because when you get up that far, you got like 8.
Sure.
They were full-blooded Cherokee. So when in the summer, I can go out. Everybody said this since I was a kid. I can go out and be in the sun all day long and get really red,
right?
And not go out in the sun for the rest of the summer and stay red the whole summer. And people are like, "How do you keep your tan all summer long?" Blah blah blah. And my mom was always said, "Oh, that's the Indian blood. That's the Indian blood, Native American blood." They call it Indian back then. I try to say,
Native
American. I have a friend who's. I was going to go into the Air Force with him. He went into the Air Force and became a firefighter in Alaska. He looks just like a Native American. He's always looked like that. Ever since we were kids, he still looks like a Native American today. His mom and dad are as white, as Caucasian as Caucasian. He's got Native American bloodline like his grandfather or his great-grandfather or something. That DNA is very right. You know, he's always, him and his brother both look just like they stepped off the reservation.
Maybe she does have Native American. I mean, like how far back do you have to go in your heritage before it doesn't count anymore and you're just arbitrarily only white? How far back? Like, haven't we started doing DNA tests and finding out like, oh, you're like 3% from Africa or something like that? You're like, where's the threshold in terms of now? That being said, if she was born, as far as she knows, to white parents, I'm not saying she was. I'm saying if she was born and a couple of white parents had a kid, and then she just like grew up in a normal suburbia household, and has put on a pretense of Native American heritage in order to have a career.
What was the
is that wrong?
Name? What was the white lady that claimed she
was black? She was like the president of the NAACP.
Dolezal. Hang on, let me try to find a picture of this. She was great. Yeah, there she is. This chick was like, I'm black. Oh, I did. I missed the Black Friday sale. I'm sorry, Washington Post.
Oh, yeah.
There she is. Black. I'm sorry. Bitch, you got a tan in bed.
Yeah, that is not a black lady. No, okay, but so I don't really care. Like, oh, she's faking, she's not faking. You have a lot better case to say that you're Native American or that you're black, even if you're white as can be. You have a better case of that than saying like, oh, I'm a boy when you're a female. You know, you have a better, because your heritage is all mixed up, and you go back a few generations and you have no idea what came before that. You have no idea. You have no clue.
You see how this causes strife and continues to keep this negative strife throughout this fighting and everything throughout everything. I'm not white. You're black. I'm Indian.
Yeah,
I'm not Native American.
And you know what? It's all fake anyway. It's all imaginary, I think. I mean, like, you know,
you're
parents
exactly
and they
right.
have parents and it's like in terms of it being some staple of pride, of badge of identity or something, like, even if it's true, it's fake.
None of us are royal bloodline, so none of us have to worry about family,
right?
You know, or what race we are.
Somebody's got to inbreed. I'm going to say the last thing, and then we'll move on. She says, I've never lied about my identity. The more I've known, the more I've pieced together a sense of self from the information available to me. What I know about my indigenous ancestry, I learned from my growing up mother, who was of the Imkwak heritage. And in my own research later in life, my mother told me that I was adopted and that I was native, but there was no documentation as was common for indigenous children at the time. Mm-hmm. So her story is, she was a Moses baby, found in a basket.
Do you know how I found out that my one on my maternal side, my one was Cherokee? You know how I found that out? When I was doing
Oh.
genealogy about 20 years ago, before it's super easy now, but 20 years ago, we were using it in Ancestry and going to the library and stuff. And I just found this woman's name, and I can't remember her name now. And I could not find anything on her past this name. Nothing on her. And I was mentioning it to my mom, and she was like, "Oh, that was your Indian grandmother." And I was like, "Huh?" And she was like, "That was your grandmother that was full-blooded native. She married blah, blah, blah." And she said, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't her real name. That was her English name that they gave her. And her real name was, some Cherokee name that my mom didn't know. And she was like, they didn't keep records and stuff.
Right.
So a lot of these names that you're like, well, I've got to this person and I don't know who that is. Well, there's a good chance that they are Native American. That was the white name that was given to them, their English name that was given to them. And that's why they don't have, it doesn't say who they were born, and you can't continue that branch. That's how I found out that was her. My mom happened to know. I mean, she was like, "Oh, that was my granny so-and-so."
Like, okay. So for a certain point, you have history, like you and your family has history through a certain amount of time, but people forget and they die. And then sooner or later, it just becomes stories and lore that's passed on. And like, maybe it's true. Maybe it's like, look, my wife will do stuff today and tell a story about it, and we'll just exaggerate it. Like, and I don't know why she does it. She gets this from her dad.
I do this.
And she did, and she's not like being like deceptive about it. She like something will be like, $80, and she'll be like, we paid $100 for it or whatever. And it's just like a little exaggerates. And like, I can't tell you how many times I've heard her tell the same story, and every time it exaggerates a little bit more. Right. So if that happens, and that happened like yesterday, then like the stuff that happened 80 years ago, or, your grandparents before you were born, grandparents, I don't know how much of it's true.
Right. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. I asked my brother this. Me and my brother are trying to get started a music podcast where we talk about music. In the first episode, I told him, I said, all right, I said, here was our first episode, what it's going to be. And I told him, I said, we need to, I said, can you name any of your great grandfathers? He was like, no. I was like, you don't know any of your great grandfathers. You got like 4 of them. You got like 8 of them. Can you not name any of your great grandfathers? He's like, no. And I was like, exactly. Not many people can. So how long is it going to take our family to forget about us? How long is it going to take your family to completely forget your name and what you did for your family so that person can be alive on this planet right now? Not long. I'm not saying this to upset you. I said this to my brother. I said, so if you were to leave 3 songs, because we're music people, all right, this is how we communicate, was with music, me and my brother and stuff.
Okay.
But if you were to leave 3 songs that your great grandchild were to find, and it would say, this defines your great grandfather, what are those 3 songs? And he was like, okay. And I was like, so that's going to be what we talk about on the show. The 3 songs that define you, your songs that say who you are. The one, it don't matter what it is. I don't care what the fuck it is. It could be some dude playing the fucking mouth harmonica for his all. I don't care what it is.
I don't even know how I would begin to answer that question. I have to start thinking about every song I've ever heard. How important is that to me? That seems so difficult.
Oh, I could name them all 3. I had all 3.
I bet you can.
Boom, boom, boom. And I was like, these songs define who I am. So, yeah, I was just getting that with the family. Your family doesn't forget. And I mean, this woman, who knows? I mean, I'm not trying to defend her. I'm not trying to say she's a Looney Tune and she's not a Looney Tune, but the media likes to point fingers and call people fucking crazy when we find out years later that they weren't crazy. They were all saying the truth. And sometimes they are crazy. And the people that are crazy,
seems like
I'm a Cherokee, they say, oh, well, why are you getting mad when she's she looks like my grandma. She's not a Cherokee.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like she could solve that pretty quick with a blood test. Just like 23andMe or something, and be like, yeah, see, look, it's right here.
I got you one, JJ. This was like
go ahead. Well, we got today's title. I forgot to even mention the title. Today's title was Liars, Killers, and Moron Satanists. So I had a couple killer stories, and
okay.
but
Yeah. Let's
so
get into those then.
because I thought this story next I had for you. I thought this was interesting.
Did you not pop this up? This was nice. I like this. We haven't even seen this.
Yeah. Liars, killers, and more. So there's Buffy right there on the front. I'm not sure which of the three she feels it to.
You see the Satanist statue there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bahamut or whatnot.
Yeah.
Look at his belt.
Yeah. It's got
you see that symbol?
Medicine doctor thing. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in symbolism. A lot of our stuff in society has some really interesting symbols.
Yeah, but people steal symbols. Like up until the 1910s, the swastika was like a symbol for hope and good luck or something like that. And then a couple of assholes are like, "Hey, let's rebrand this thing, make it into like genocide."
Dude, so, I'm from the South. Don't tell me about rebranding things.
Right, yeah. All right, so here's the second of our three. We got liars, we got killers. Check this out. A teenage son of a homeless advocate, a guy that was like out there trying to like do God's work for the homeless, get them better situation, kills a homeless man for raping his girlfriend. Is that not like some like meta irony in your life or something like that? A teenage son of a Pennsylvania homeless advocate has been charged with the murder of a homeless man who he claims sexually assaulted his girlfriend.
So wait a minute. I'm confused.
Yeah.
The guy that helped homeless people, his son killed a homeless man because that homeless man raped the son's girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay, what's the problem here?
There's not a problem. It just seems like this is like, it just seems like it was
just a coincidence because the guy
major irony. I mean, it's not really that much of a coincidence. If your dad is hanging out with homeless people all the time, that's the
homeless guy probably knows your son, seen him one time,
like
something.
I mean, like, it just seems kind of like a cosmic irony kind of thing. So Thomas James Neros, who's 15, shot Jeremiah Hawkins, 39, in the face at point blank range on Wednesday afternoon in Pottstown. After the alleged shooting, the boy reportedly yelled out, "He's a rapist. Don't feel sorry for him." So, I just thought that was that's absolutely crazy. And I don't know.
Well, whatever.
I don't know. I don't advocate for that. Okay, here's one more. I thought was kind of interesting. Armed EMS, and I had a question about this one. Armed EMS personnel, so medical responders, subdue an axe-wielding woman. So this woman's running around with an axe, attacking people, and a couple of EMS guys subdue her. The 44-year-old woman's Kelly Boggs. She attacked a man with an axe, and afterwards shattered a glass door at an EMS station and made entry into the EMS facility. The personnel were asleep in the station, and that's where I was like, hold on. Whoa. Do they normally sleep on the job? You can do that?
If you're on the job for 48 hours, you have hours that you sleep, and you get called in, you get up and get in your shit and you go. Right. Yeah, they got places there to sleep. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like a fire department.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very common.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. They awoke to the sound of shattering glass and held Boggs at gunpoint until the police arrived. So good guys with guns stop crazy woman with axe. That's good. All right. What do you have before we talk about?
I have a train going by, so you got something else to talk about?
Choo choo. No, what you got? What's your story?
I mean, seriously, you want me to try to yell over the damn train? I tried to give you a hint. Do you have another story to talk about?
It's still going. All right. It's still going.
Got a satanic Christmas tree.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Talk about
all right.
This is slow moving. This is shaking my chair, dude. This one's fully loaded with coal. It's going to take a while to go by. It's at least
a Wisconsin museum has been blasted for a Christmas festival featuring a satanic temple tree. All right. So the National Railroad Museum's Christmas Tree Festival featured 70 trees and 2 of them were from the Satanic Temple of Wisconsin. And the Bay Area Council of Gender Diversity, and brought on quite a shock to the community. The Satanic Temple tree, which you can see here, is decorated with pentagrams, and the Gender Diversity tree featured trans flags and ornaments that reportedly said "Protect Trans Kids." In a social media post, the Satanic Temple shared photos of their tree and urged people to go view it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
okay.
You know what you should do, people of Wisconsin? You know what you should do about this? You are outraged at this. You should complain about it on Facebook and Instagram and get all your frustrations out and get into your echo chambers where everybody says how terrible this is. And everybody's like, yeah, you're right. And you get 100 likes and everybody's like, yeah, and gives you little hearts and little thumbs up and everything. And that justifies what you've said. And you fucking forget about it like you always do. If you honestly cared about this shit, you would find out who these people are in your community and you would start doing fucking something about it. I'm not advocating any kind of illegal activities, but if you cared about a satanic, I'm telling you, if there was a satanic temple in my community anywhere, I'm telling you, we would know every single person that went into that fucking satanic community.
Seriously?
Absolutely, we would.
Oh, wow.
Do you think the people that go in there and happen to own businesses, do you think we would frequent their businesses? I don't know how they do things in Wisconsin. But
interesting
down here
idea.
in Kentucky, we find out shit like this. We're not a bunch of goddamn cousin fucking hicks. All right.
Yeah, right.
We know how to use the pewter and the internets and the wide world of webs. We know how to use it.
So these Satanists, like, they put this Christmas tree up, and you know they're doing it to just be assholes.
Yes,
they
they have every right to do
you love God, and you know, you think you believe in God and whatever. So, you know, here we're gonna exercise equal rights. We're gonna put up a Christmas tree about Bahamut or some whatever the F name it is.
What I'm saying is, if people's got a problem with it, do something about it. You want to live in a nice community? Run these assholes out of your community.
Right.
You don't have to get pitchforks and get medieval on their asses, but there is civilized way to run their asses out of your community.
I just
them there.
My reaction to this is like, these are just people that are trying to be edgy and trying to be, provocative.
California and do this fucking shit. You want to be edgy and you want to do this shit, go somewhere else. The people that live here don't want to do this shit. And I don't care if you want to, and this is where you were born, get the fuck out.
This is the thing that's kind of like the most offensive. And let me just say, like, I think there's a part of this story where they asked this Christian pastor about it, and he was like, these people. The Satanic Temple posted this. They invited you to our sole Invictus tradition of displaying baby Baphomet at the capital city of Springfield, Illinois. And here they have a statue of a goat dude, as though, this is just mocking people that have an actual genuine faith. And like, this is, I mean, like, you guys don't actually believe in any of this shit. So you're just being assholes.
You don't think they actually believe in that shit?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, JJ. Yes, that's a big thing.
No, I know there's some people that, obviously there's some people that just believe any story that, and especially if it's counter to the mainstream.
Have you ever, this is where I come in. This is where my scoop nature comes in. That was my grandfather's nickname for me when I was a kid, because I asked all kinds of questions. I never stopped asking questions. Like a little reporter, I was a little scoop. He called me Scoop because I never shut up and I never stopped asking questions. And here's a question, JJ. Have you ever asked yourself why all the Satanists have statues and worship Baphomet?
No idea.
Okay. Well, maybe that's a good little fucking nice little Google search that you need to look into one day, because it's very interesting.
Oh, is it?
It really makes you think that there's an illusion going on.
What's the TLDR?
No, I'm not giving you a TLDR. Look this shit up.
I mean, it looks like a demon.
Baphomet is not Satan. No.
Okay. What is it?
Two different people. Baphomet was a
Yeah.
pagan
Well.
god.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
Baphomet
Yeah.
is an
Yeah. Yeah.
old pagan god. Old pagan god. Been around a long
Okay.
time. Many different names.
Looks like a demon, though.
Well, I mean, I can draw you a picture of a guy with angel wings and say that looks like an angel, and that's not what they fucking look like. What did the
Angels
angels
look scary too.
Yeah,
Depends on the angel. Some of them look cute and not cute, and like the little cherub things. That's obviously not real, but like some of them look like men. But usually, it was only the ones that were sent as messengers to give a message to a person. The ones that were doing stuff.
They always said, "What's the first thing all them angels say when they
don't be afraid? Don't die right now. Don't die in my presence."
Yeah,
yeah. The ones that were doing work. The ones that were doing work, like, whatever God said, hey, go do this stuff over there. Go blow up that city or go whatever. Those ones, you can't even wrap your mind around what they look like. Wheels and eyes and wings and stuff. The ones that were like, hey, go talk to that guy. That one might have looked like a human.
Like
and even then they were afraid.
With laser rays.
Okay.
You don't think they look like that either? I mean, come on, you're saying wheels and metal rays.
Well, is described by, like Daniel described it as wheels within wheels turning.
Crazy. I mean, I wonder what we would call that today, because they obviously didn't have the terminology that we have today. I wonder how we would call that. Would we call it wheels upon wheels turning, or would we call it something else?
I don't know.
Weird. I don't know. I mean, language is fun. I love language.
Yeah.
I'm always asking questions, JJ.
We have no idea. Exactly. Although the only thing I do know is that if you're going to go, the only reason that they would put a baby Baphomet in a display there is to make fun of Jesus. That is to mock Jesus.
Yeah, but
so
I was just asking why you
guys are assholes.
They don't have a, if they're Satanists, why they don't have a big statue of Satan there and some random demon, some random, it's always Baphomet. It's never Satan. It's never Lucifer. It's never
right.
Always Baphomet.
Why is it Baphomet?
Look it up. I'm telling you, it's a very interesting rabbit hole to get down. We don't have enough time to get onto it because I hadn't even got to
I guess so. Okay,
all right, I got one. I got one here. New Zealand's smoking ban. The health experts criticize the new government's shocking reversal. New Zealand's new government says it plans to scrap the nation's world-leading smoking ban to fund tax cuts. The legislation introduced under the previous blah 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 would have banned cigarette sales next year to anyone born after 2008. Smoking is the leading cause of preventable deaths in New Zealand, and the policy had aimed to stop young generations from picking up the habit. Health experts strongly criticized the sudden reversal. What I have to say about this is, fuck them. If they're not smart enough to realize that smoking kills you, then fuck them. Do you want them around? No, I'm being serious. I'm being real. I know smoking kills. This doesn't have nicotine in it. And I'm sure this vape kills. I know this.
There's probably some negative effects, right?
I knew that. I knew. Fuck me if I die.
Yeah.
They know the risks. It's not my responsibility, and it's not your responsibility and the government's responsibility to tell you and to govern your fucking life and to tell you can't do something. If you want to do it and it kills you, sayonara.
Freedom means accepting the risks of your life.
This is how we call the fucking idiots in nature. Do you think the bird walking around going, oh,
hello, cats.
Everybody fly away. Hi, cats. Yeah. Do you think that motherfucker needs to reproduce and put more of those? Nature has a way of culling things. We as humans have invented ways to stop that culling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm aside from the fucking kind of attitude of it, I'm in agreement with you.
Really harsh when I say that, and
I mean,
you know what I'm saying.
I haven't smoked in decades, and it's stupid to do that. I had family that died about it and died because of it. And if you think that you can smoke now and quit later, you're a retard for real. Like, it's going to get you and then you'll be hooked on it. And
I
you'll
remember
be
saying to myself,
so much money.
I remember saying to myself, I'll smoke after 5 years. And then I remember saying to myself, I'll stop smoking after 10 years. And then I remember saying to myself, I've been smoking for 20 years. And it was my kids that got me to stop.
Yeah.
It was my kids, because I was hacking and coughing. And when I would sleep at night, I was always like, oh, I can't even do it anymore. When I breathe, I don't even do it anymore.
Okay, so it's crazy that we ever even started doing this, because the way your lungs work is that you breathe in air and then oxygen permeates the barrier, right? And you smoke and you are contaminating it with obviously stuff in the smoke, and it lines your lungs and you can't breathe as well. And you do that for decades and you think that you're going to be okay. Nope. No, not at all. But, that doesn't mean that New Zealand needs to make all these choices for young people. Young people, make your own choices. Just choose not to smoke. If there's not enough customers, those companies will go out of business. So, hey, young people, rise up and prove how smart you are and don't smoke. Do smoke if you want to. Whatever.
Don't smoke. That's bad. I got one.
Don't smoke.
I got one more kind of AI, not really AI, but maybe we can use AI.
I didn't see AI. Where's AI?
It's not really AI, but I was thinking we don't have to play the intro. We'll just bring up George.
All right.
You're at the bottom. Archaeologists have found this 3,000-year-old tablet that is written in an unknown language. In Turkey, they have unearthed an approximately 3,000-year-old tablet written in a mysterious unknown language they say they have never encountered before. They described as surprisingly pristine with an uneroded surface compared to the other 25,000 plus tablets already discovered at the site. Researchers are still working to decipher the mysterious text. They also note that the work at the site will continue, that the mysterious tablet may represent just one of many lost languages still waiting to be discovered and translated by modern researchers, translated by AI. What do you think about that?
Interesting. Again, my first thought is obviously cynical, because it could be like, maybe it's the same language and they just can't, they're saying they can read it, but they can't understand it, because that's what the quote says there. So is it like characters and I don't see any pictures of the actual tablet. Is it characters and pictures and things that are familiar, but they don't seem to make words? And if so,
well, it says he sent it to some language experts, because he said, I'm not a language expert. So he sent the tablet. He said, I was a little surprised when they said we read, but we can't understand. After further examination, the researchers realized that the tablet actually contained a summary written in well-known Hittite language on the upper side of the tablet, followed by the 3,000-year-old unknown text underneath. The guy says that at the end of the Hittite text, it translates as, from now on, read in the language of the land of Kalash.
Oh,
with
wow.
the mystery text appearing immediately after that. Given the unique history of the Hittites, who conquered many smaller cities and then incorporated their languages, religions, and customs into their own rather than replacing them, they says the reference is to the land of Kalash, potentially offers a clue to the people who use the unknown cuneiform script. Very interesting.
That people Hittites, that's familiar to me. I don't know why it is. It's probably from the Bible, right? Hittites.
It was a land of 1,000. The guys of 1,000.
That's what
religions.
it says there. Yeah. Remember, when ancient people established an empire, Asia Minor and Syria flourished from 1700 to 1200 BC. 3,000-year-old text. It could be mysterious. It could be secrets. It could be the recipe for concrete.
Greek scrolls that they have that they're going to be destroyed if they open them. So they have tried to figure out how to read them without opening them. And they
Right.
have asked all these super high-end computer experts across all these high-end colleges and stuff. And this little 23, 22, 24-year-old kid figured out how to do it with AI.
Oh,
And they have read part of one of these scrolls that has rolled up, one of these ancient Greek scrolls, and they're saying this can be really awesome use of technology because now we can actually see what this shit actually said instead of this game of 3,000-year-old broken fucking telephone that we've had. Right? So we can read it straight from the horse's mouth. This is what it said. This is what it meant.
How can you see through it? Are they using like X-ray or something?
Not the freaking.
And how do we confirm that?
I don't know.
So I read a story a couple of weeks ago about, you ever seen those like redacted PDFs from like the government? Like people do a FOIA request and then get some PDFs and then like big black bars through a bunch of it and like, oh, redacted. This part's redacted. This part's redacted. So some of it's redacted, some of it's not. Somebody took a bunch of those documents and they ran them through AI, and they had AI and analyze the language it could see and the spaces that it couldn't. And it was like, oh, that stuff says this. And it put it back together using the context of the delivery in terms of how much was missing and the context of the conversation. And it was able to predict the redacted portions of some documents.
I wonder how good that was.
I don't know. But then again, how do you check? How do you know? You can just be like, oh.
I'm able to do that. We used to do that as kids with the redacted documents.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That same thing that the AI is doing. We used to do it as kids. We called it Mad Libs.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
The Poopy Castle.
Yeah.
Let's do the Turd Bird.
Let's see.
I don't have any more stories.
You got a couple here. Let's see. You got,
those are political and all.
Yeah. Yeah. What about this activist from Western Mexico? What happened here?
I don't know.
You said you found this AP story. It must be yours because I didn't see it. Authorities in Western Mexico said Sunday they found the body of an anti-mining activist.
I was going to skip that story.
Oh, were you?
Oh, I was just, they found this body of this anti-mining activist. And I was thinking, man, this is the world that we live in. You know, you got somebody out there that's like, stop the mining. And then, fuck you.
I mean, cartels. I mean, then again, look, if you don't take a stand for what you believe in, we just said this earlier, then how are you ever going to change anything? Well, this guy took a stand for what he believed in. And
if you don't think we live in a third world country, you are strongly incorrect.
I don't know. If we can learn anything from all of this, it's take a stand for what you believe in and learn from the EMS guys. You better have a gun to defend yourself. All right. I think that's all. That's all for today.
It was kind of good. Really wasn't much. I was struggling to find some stuff to talk about, but I knew we would have.
We need to just fun stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, this should have been last month. Hey, Deke, it's joke time. You want to tell a joke?
Sure. Yeah, I saw an Amazon delivery truck dropping off a kid at school this morning.
Oh.
I had no idea that was an option. It's not on my app anywhere.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought that was funny.
Deke, have you ever wondered why skeletons don't go to the movies?
No.
And they have nobody to go with.
Oh, nobody to go with.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I was looking for another one here since we didn't tell a couple of jokes in a while.
Oh, yeah. We need to punish the for us taking off.
I had this one. Please don't get mad at me for this one. I'm not being racist. I have Mexican friends. And they would laugh at this.
Okay.
What did the Mexican take to control his anxiety?
Oh, I don't know. What did he take?
Hispanic medicine.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yes. All right. This one's not good. This one's not good, sir. What do you call an android that takes a shortcut?
What do you call an android that takes? We all shut up. What do you call an android that takes a shortcut?
Yes.
I don't know.
R2 detour.
Oh my God.
Hey, they liked it. They're so fickle. These people are so fickle. All right. Hey, thanks for watching, folks. If you showed up, we'll be back tomorrow, 8:00, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Your two dads.
Normally.
Yeah, we still got our robot up here. Get up here. Yeah. Your two dads, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. We talk news and other stuff. And you're welcome. Call your mom.